Hi, this is Elisa with RE Profit, and I just wanted to walk through formatting your data for import. When you've exported a CSV file from your bank and you want to make sure that it's correctly formatted for RE Profit, you're just going to grab your file that you've downloaded using this little handy download arrow on the Chrome browser right now. Just drag it into where I've created a folder inside of Drive for myself, but of course you don't need a folder. You can just have it in Drive somewhere, and then double click on your import sheet and then open that with Google Sheets if your Drive doesn't automatically open CSV files with Google Sheets. We're going to get rid of data we don't need, and it's just stuff we don't need. We don't need these columns. So I'm selecting A, I'm clicking Shift and selecting B to select two columns at once. And then I right clicked, or on Mac, you can Control click to get that menu to delete those items. These two little arrows pointing left and right are going to open up or close columns for you. I have two columns selected, so it's opening up two columns, but I don't actually want it to. Okay, so now that I've unselected two columns, I'm opening up column B so I can see the full description. Column C we don't need, so I'm going to delete column C. Now this is column C, which is your debits and your credits. You must have every piece of information you need right now. On column C, you're going to head up to Data. You're going to select Split Text to Columns. It's going to detect automatically where it thinks you should split, but what we want to do is head down to that separator and select Custom. Your custom separator is going to be a minus. My minus sign is next to my 0 on my computer, but I don't know where yours is. So here you can see we have now credits and debits. That was easy. So I'm going to drag my debits over, and I am going to select row 1, head up to Insert, and insert a blank row above row 1 so that we can have our columns labeled properly. Date, description, debit, credit. Perfect. This is the order and the only names that you can give these columns. It needs to be date, description, debit, credit for it to import properly. The one last thing I'm going to do before I download this data is I want to highlight rows C and D, which have the dollar symbols on them, and just highlight those and head up to Format, Number, and select Financial, and that will get rid of our $sign for importing. Here you can see that everything is formatted as it should be. It looks good. I'm going to, before I download this, rename my file so I don't get it confused with the file I just downloaded from my bank, and I'm going to call it 2164 import because I'm uploading or importing it into my checking account ending in 2164. So this looks great. I'm going to download this as a CSV or comma separated values file, head over to my RE Profit account, head to the sub account where I want this data to live, which is my checking account ending in 2164. You can see that once you select your sub account, you're going to have an import file or add transaction button. If you just have one or two transactions to add transaction is great. You can put your date, your description, your debit, your credit, and categorize it, or have AI categorize it for you, create it, and just boom, it's in your account. But if you have a number of transactions to import or a bulk import via the spreadsheet is really the simplest way to do it. You're going to click Import File. It's going to bring you here where you have these wonderful instructions and a graphic of how your data should look, date, description, debit, credit. You can also download the import template here. It's just a blank sheet that says date, description, debit, credit, and you can just paste your data into there if that's more convenient. You can see Enable AI Categorization is selected. It takes between 60 to 120 seconds, depending on how much data you have, but it saves you a lot of time of categorizing things. It's basically using machine learning, keywords, and rules you've set to categorize for you when you bring in bulk data. I am going to unselect for the purposes of our example to move quickly, I'm going to choose the file that I just named, 2164 import. I'm going to open that, and I'm going to import this file. Okay, so import review is only useful when you have enabled AI categorization, which I highly recommend doing, but for this import, I did not. Okay, now that that was imported, you can see that there are a number of new transactions. If I highlight imported, you can see that all of these are peach because they have been manually imported instead of flowing over organically from your bank account, which is really hopefully how most of your transactions are coming over. You can see that this is gray because it came over organically from the bank account. That is also something you can see here. Is it manually imported? No. Okay. Awesome. What if you import something and it was actually a huge mistake and now you don't even know how to begin to delete everything you just imported? If you ever get that sinking feeling that you've imported a duplicate or something about what you just did is not what you meant to do, no problem. Head to your Manage Account, Financial Accounts, and then head to that sub-account where you did an import last and click Undo Last Import. And that will get rid of any data that it'll just literally do what it says. It'll undo the last import. It's not going to go back in time and keep undoing imports. It's really going to only work one step back, one previous import. But it saved a lot of clients a lot of hassle. So I'm really happy that we have this feature now. Okay. I hope that that was a helpful tutorial in uploading and formatting your data. It's actually really quick to format it correctly and get your data cleaned up. If you have any questions, you can click here on this little cool head to support, create a support ticket, or give us a call at 860-937-6868. Or of course, you can email us at support@ariprofit.com. Happy importing, and thanks for being a part of the AriProfit community.